Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. My name is Shanmugam and I am an empowerment and mindset coach focusing on women, and I love helping women create a life that they're obsessed with. So if you're on here live, tell me whether I am the right way up or you're watching me sideways. Okay, I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds for someone to give me a heads up. So I just saw someone jump on live. Let me know if you can see me and I'm the right way around, the orientation is correct. If it's not, let me know and I'm gonna adjust a few things. Can you just type in the comments box and let me know whether I'm sideways or I'm the right way around, please, before I launch into my session today. So I'm just gonna hang. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so if you could let me know whether I'm the right way around or I'm sideways. Hey Lisa, how are you? Lisa, can you let me know whether you can see me the right way around? Because my phone is set horizontally. Supriya, hi, can you let me know whether you can see me the right way around or whether I'm sideways, please? I feel like I might be sideways in one of my screens. Can you just type in the comments box? It's sideways. Okay, I'm gonna try flipping. Okay, great, thanks Lisa. I'm gonna try flipping it this way around. This is not gonna, oh my gosh. Hi Shyla, how are you? Hang with me while I fight with my iPad. Hang on guys, I'm gonna make you dizzy right now. Okay. All right, I am so sorry about this guys. I'm gonna end and I'm gonna come back again. Lisa, hang tight. I am trying to go on my iPad as well as my phone, and I'm sideways for some reason on my group page. This is very professional, you guys. All right, let's try this again. Please work, please work. And if you get entirely bored by this, feel free to jump off, because obviously this is not very professional. I'm sorry. I need to get one of those stand thingies. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. All right, hopefully this will work. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. Alrighty, so like I was saying, my name is Biza and I'm a mindset and empowerment coach for women, and I help you create a life that you're absolutely obsessed with for all the right reasons. So I do a lot of coaching, and one of the things that came up the other day on a coaching call was somebody asked me, we were digging into some of the issues that she had, and I was telling her, well, we've only known each other for a very short time, so I don't necessarily know what's happened in your past for you to have certain characteristics that you don't necessarily like about yourself, right? So I said, we have to kind of look at your past and see what is going on. And she said, well, what does my past have anything to do with today and how I am and how I'm designing my future? And I thought that was such a great question. So I decided to do a topic about why your past has everything and nothing to do with your future, because that is really the truth. And you might be thinking, well, that makes no sense. And I'll tell you why. And that's what today is all about. So as I'm speaking today, if you can tell me where you are watching me from, where in the US, if you're watching from the US, or if it's some other country, tell me where you are watching me from. And also if you have any questions that crop up, let me know as well. So let's start with why your future has everything to do with your past. Okay, let's start with that statement. So, we all have experiences, our parents that define us, our schooling, our education, and we all understand that our past does kind of determine our future. That's a given, right? We all understand that. We think that whatever education, college education we might have had or not had determines our future. The skill sets that we have, the kind of college we went to, we think determines the type of work we get offered, the type of pay we start out on. We think that if you're an Ivy League schooler, then you probably have a better start to life than most other people. So these are all beliefs that we have, right? And it's very easy to understand why our past can define our future, especially if you've been affected and you've had setbacks, major setbacks in your life, and maybe you've experienced immense trauma in your life or sickness, if you haven't been healthy, or maybe you've had kids and you've had to stay home and you never expected to be a stay-at-home mom, and life has just worked out that way, and you think now your future is going to be affected because of whatever circumstances that might have happened in the past. So it's easy to understand why our past defines our future. But here's my other statement, that your past actually has nothing to do with your future. And you need to understand why this is the truth, right? We all let our past define our future. We give in to I want to say excuse, it might sound harsh, but we let our past beliefs and our circumstances define where we are going. So for me, one of my beliefs, and it's a cultural issue, right? Like, I grew up in India, and even though my parents didn't specifically say this to me, one of the cultural issues that I understood growing up was that boys were more important than girls, right? I know that's, for some of you, that might be shocking, but growing up, that's kind of, we're sponges, right? As kids, we absorb this information from our environment, whether it's said implicitly or explicitly. We tend to absorb some information and beliefs that sound crazy as an adult when we put it out into words. Like today, as I was formulating this idea, I was like, man, that sounds crazy to say that is what some of the information that I absorbed growing up. And I almost felt ashamed and guilty because I don't want my parents to get hurt, right? Because they've never said that to me. I have an older brother, and they've never made us feel that one was more important than the other, right? They always treated us equals. They always gave us equal opportunities in terms of education, and they gave us the very best that they could at the time where they were in their life. But until I was 11 years old, I grew up in India, and I lived under the same roof with a lot of other family members. And just from things that you hear, experiences that you go through, and just the ads that you see on TV, just the culture that you're immersed in, one of the things that I understood was that girls were more important than boys. It was just a fact, right? And still to this day in India, it is the truth. That's what happens in a lot of families, right? So when I wanted to share this on Facebook Live today, I felt like very guilty, and it was very hard to come on Facebook Live and share this because, of course, there's going to be a ton of people watching, some of which are family. So anyway, that's one of my past beliefs, right? So one of my past beliefs is that, and I absorbed this information at a very young age, less than like 8 or 7 years old. And little things. So one of the things that stands out in my memory was when I was the youngest grandchild, right? On my mother's side, as well as my father's side of the family. I have a lot of cousins, and I was the baby on both sides, and I was doted on, which was fantastic. And I remember when another cousin was born after me, and it's complicated, but it was a grandson, but anyway, that memory, I remember my grandfather being so excited about this grandson, and I felt like replaced, right? That somebody else had taken over my special place in my grandfather's heart. And it wasn't because it was a boy. He would have been just as excited whether it was a boy or a girl. But in my mind, because of all the other information and impressions that had been made in my mind, I felt because I was a girl, like I was less important, right? So that's one of the beliefs I've had. And I have always self-sabotaged my own success because of that. That's one of the reasons I tend to self-sabotage myself all the time. Because I get anything that I do, I pick up and I decide to run with it, I will get out of the gates so quickly, and I will find quick success. All the businesses that I've ever started out on, people are always blown away by how quickly I find success, including myself. I always surprise myself, and people around me say, wow, you do everything that you do with so much confidence, and you just throw yourself into the deep end and you figure it out. You're so solutions oriented, which is all the truth. But the other truth is the fact that I do self-sabotage myself because I think I'm a girl. Like, I can't be as successful as men in my family, right? The men that I surround myself with. So I tend to self-sabotage. So it goes back to my statement of your past has everything to do with your future. So my past belief that girls are not as important as boys will continue to play out in my future. That story will continue to play out in my future and every opportunity that I get unless I change it, unless I change that story. And one of the ways we change our stories is by voicing them out loud, like I am doing today. This is a huge, scary thing for me, like going on live and bearing my soul. But our past will always hold us prisoners if we give it the control, right? If I always try to hide this fact, this limiting belief, and I don't share it out in the world, then it will continue to have power over me. The only way to dispel that myth and get rid of these old stories that are holding you back is by saying it out loud and realizing how ridiculous that they sound, and they do not have to control your future, okay? So going to my sentence about how your past has nothing to do with your future, it's a great transition because everything that I've just talked about, right? We all have stories. We all have stories from our past that we allow it to control how our future plays out. Whether you realize it or not, at a subconscious level, things that you observed when you were young about how you were treated, maybe fairly or unfairly, how much love you were shown, consciously or subconsciously, how much worthiness you felt, consciously or subconsciously, all of this designed your past, right? And you carry around these things into your future. And most of these stories, they don't necessarily serve where we are going in our future. So the only way that your past will have no significance on your future is by one, shining a light on what your stories and your limiting beliefs are. And I talk about limiting beliefs all the time, and I cannot emphasize enough how important it is that you become aware of your limiting beliefs, right? The rules that you play your life by, what are those rules? Like, you know, what do you equate success to? How do you think success comes about? Is it through sheer hard work? You might have seen your parents work themselves to the bone, and you might think that is the only way to success. And you might think, unless I work super hard, I cannot have success. And that might be working against what you want, because maybe you don't like hard work, or maybe you think it's really unfair. And so you might find a way to make more money in less hours. But unless you correct that story, you are going to self-sabotage yourself in some way or form, so that now you do have to work more hours to make that same amount of money, right? Because we don't want to disprove what our parents have shown us. We want our parents' approval. We don't want to show them that we know a better way of living or making money, because that feels to us like a betrayal. So we almost kind of pull ourselves back from our own success because we don't want to upset anyone. We don't want to step outside of our tribe, right? Like what our tribe has shown us. We don't want to step outside of that. So, oh, thank you, Lisa. You are so sweet. So the only way that you can stop your past from defining your future is to become aware of your stories, okay? And the only way to become aware of your stories is to ask yourself, like, you know, what do I believe about making money? For every single one of us, money is so important. And for us, there is a money ceiling unless you look at what your money story is, how you saw your parents make money. What do you believe about rich people, right? If you think rich people are evil and greedy, then there is no way you're going to be able to make more money, because you're going to be repelling money if you believe that about rich people. Everybody wants to be liked. Everybody wants to be good. And if you inherently believe that rich people are greedy, or you judge them, then you're not going to want to make money. Hey, Amy, thank you. I'm glad you love the topic. So going back to, you know, your future has nothing to do with your past. You can make it such a way where you unchain, like just break the chains that your past has on your future, right? But you have to make an active decision to do that, where you can say, my past really has no relevance to my future. It's easy to say, but the amount of untangling that needs to happen to make that a reality, it's mind-blowing, right? It's lifelong work. It is lifelong work. It is not a once and done thing. Every time you untangle a certain issue, you'll be able to up-level a certain amount, right? And then you'll hit another plateau, and more new, or maybe the old things that you've untangled will come up yet again. As you up-level each time in your life, the same old stories will come up, because there's a newer version of you, and you need to become another newer version of you, right? And every time you want to become a newer version of you, the same stories or some new stories will come up, and you'll need to detangle them, right? And that's why this topic came about today, that your past has everything and nothing to do with your future. well, now you're aware of what goes on in your mind about, limiting beliefs and what are the subconscious stories you tell about yourself. Most of us go through life without ever realizing these truths, right? We think that our past defines us. We think that we can only make a certain amount of money. We think, so this brings up another story. So I was on a conference call the other day. I'm involved in raising money for something. And we were talking about, like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, and how there's this great interview that they both have done, and how we can learn as this group of people fundraising, that we can take away certain things about how to present something to our audience. And one of the people on the phone said, well, we'll never reach that kind of level of success like Warren Buffett or Bill Gates, but she went on to make a point. And I really stopped myself when she said, we'll never reach that kind of success. I thought that was so interesting. Hang on, sorry, this comment's coming in from the iPad. Hey Supriya, hey Saroma. And I thought that was so interesting how she drew that conclusion, right? She drew that conclusion and she was like, we'll never get to that level of success. I was like, says who? Says who? Like Bill Gates never started out saying, I'm going to become the richest man in the world, right? He never said that. I'm sure Warren Buffett never started out saying, I'm going to become the richest man in the world, right? Nobody starts out with that vision. Everybody starts out with wanting to do better than where they are now. And so to put that kind of hat, or, just put that kind of wall against yourself, it's not needed, because who knows what's written in the stars for you, right? Nobody knows what your true potential is. We all limit ourselves, and we look at people who have reached an immense amount of success, and we think there is no way I can do that. And you're right. If you think that, you are right. There is no way you'll be able to do that. Because what you think you can and what you think you can't, you're absolutely right about both. So never ever kind of confine what you think you can do, right? Based on your past. Your past will continue to rule your future as long as you allow it to. As long as you don't bring these stories to light, as long as you continue to believe in these old stories and these old paradigms, they will continue to rule your future. But when you start on doing the work of untangling and detangling these stories, because that past is just that, it is your past, and you can choose to start afresh at any moment, at any second. And it needs to be an everyday decision. It needs to be an every moment decision. Because we are creatures of habit, and it's very easy to fall back on our habits, right? And it's hard to form new ones. But I wake up every day, and sometimes as difficult as it is, I have to make the decision every day to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday. I really do. It is a daily decision that you need to make, and it's a daily decision that you need to make that you will not let your past define your future, and you have the capability and you have the power in your hands to detangle the past, right? Whatever it is that you're in the past has absolutely no bearing or significance on your future. That is the absolute truth. But you need to make the choice to not give up the fight every day. You need to make the choice to keep putting one step in front of the other, to redefine your future, to think outside of what has already maybe been defined for you and what you've believed is possible for you until now, right? Bill Gates became Bill Gates because he dared to dream bigger than anyone, than he dared to dream, himself. And he just kept expanding his vision. He just kept expanding his vision just a little more and a little more and a little more. And that's what you need to do. When you wake up in the morning, if what you have set out for the week and for a month and a year from now, if it doesn't feel expansive to you and if it doesn't feel scary to you, then you need to work on that. All right. So I hope this topic made sense as to why your past has everything and nothing to do with your future. If you have any questions, feel free to type it in the comments box. And I'm going to shift my phone here slightly, folks, and I'm so sorry. All right. So let me know, you guys, if you have any questions at all, okay? I just wanted to check on my screen behind me to make sure there were no questions that I was missing. All right. Did you guys enjoy this topic? Give me some hearts if you did. Give me some likes if this made sense to you, and if you had like maybe some aha moments. All right. And let me know whether any of this resonated with you. But I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to, one, become aware of your past and your stories and your limiting beliefs, And then 2, work on detangling them. Work on detangling them and dispelling all the this is the only way it can be kind of boxes that you tend to put yourself into, right? And so, yeah, I delved really deep into that one client session that we had, where I delved deep into why her past bears so much significance, because her hesitation was, I don't want to drag up stuff that has happened in the past, right? Most of us think, well, this stuff happened when I was 5 or 6. I'm 35 today. Like, what's the point of dragging all that up? And we really think that it has no significance whatsoever, that stuff that has happened in our past. But it's the complete opposite. Your past, if you have not looked at it with a magnifying mirror, dredged all that crap back up and healed it and released it and forgiven the people that need to be forgiven, like, it is in the control, it is in the driver's seat. That stuff is driving you every single day, whether you realize it or not, right? Like, I want to shout this out from the rooftops. This is the truth. You think your past has no significance to what is going on today. You think you have moved past it. You think you want to leave all that, stuff. Maybe you got bullied in school. You think, oh my gosh, that was such a long time ago. Like, I don't even think about it anymore. It's stuff that I've moved on to, so that stuff is in the driver's seat, you guys. That stuff is in the driver's seat. So you need to just heal that stuff. You really do. Unless you heal it, hey Karen, unless you heal it, unless you make a conscious decision to look at it and figure out what the heck happened and how you were affected and how now that is affecting you today, you will continue to live out your life the way it is today, right? That's what it limits us. That's what we find resistance towards. We are so scared to look in the dark closet. We are so scared of what we're going to find there. And it's like we're going to find the boogeyman, right? But then you open the closet and you realize there is no boogeyman, and you were scared all this time for no reason whatsoever. And that's what your past is. Most of us are so scared, or we're in denial, and we think there's no need whatsoever to delve into the past. We think it's like a waste of time, and we're wasting our time and our energy to doing that. But your energy today is being defined by what happened 10, 20, 30 years ago. And unless you have redefined and rewritten those stories to better serve you, you're not going to be able to, dream bigger dreams and reach higher levels of success and make more money than you are today and be happier and joyful and really delight in life. Okay? All right, so I offer free discovery calls, and we can do some of this work in that 1 hour that I offer, and I love to do this for people. So if you've never had a discovery call with me before, I encourage you to do it. I will drop the link on where you can book that with me, and I would be honored to spend that 1 hour with you helping you. All right, well, have a great night, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye.